Prestige worldwide. Why?
Prestige worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide welcomes you to the following presentation of the League of Extraordinary Dicks.
Welcome back to the L.E.D podcast. Merry Christmas, everyone. Joined, as usual, by our main man, Drew Riley, and we got Brendan joining us this week.
Happy holidays.
Gonna preview the second round of the playoffs. And we're gonna review a very, very exciting first round of the playoffs. Very thrilling. And two of the beneficiaries of that first round are joining us tonight, so we're gonna jump into those games. Yeah, let's jump right in the action. We'll go right back to the first round of the playoffs. Let's jump into the Princess Cup tournament. Going to look at the One-Eyed Monsters taking on the Player Haters game here. I wanted to start with this one because, for very obvious reasons, I tagged Drew in the Facebook, or I mentioned Drew in the Facebook page today. His pick for a princess this year, giving him the big old middle finger. Drew, what you look at when you look at this game?
Yeah, old Jeffro. I mean, people are wrong all the time. Look at Mel Kiper. But, hey, his team turned around right when he needed it to. So, kudos to you, Jeffo.
Yeah, that's really what I was wanting to hear. I was just wanting you to say, I got it wrong. You're all right, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. He took his notes, and he took them well.
Had a little bit of late season surge. Again, he ended up falling just short of the championship bracket. He finished 7th in the regular season standing, so he had a late season surge and finished his season strong.
He sure did.
Yeah, I mean, he beat me the last game of the season, regular season. So I think what really turned it around for him was picking up Brock Purdy.
Maybe. We'll discuss that at a later point.
Jahmyr Gibbs turnaround. That's what saved his day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned this to you off air, Brennan, but I'm kind of putting together everyone's 2023 roster, like their best starting roster throughout the season, and Brock Purdy's numbers are pretty sorry. And I'm kind of joining my boy Cam Newton, and I think he's just a game manager.
I mean, you still put up fantasy points as a game manager with all those weapons, though.
You agree with Cam Newton? I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, I know.
Matt's team, when you're heavy on the Falcons like that, and they're just not, I don't know. I really don't get it. Why they just won't use Bijan? What was the point of drafting him? I really don't get that.
Yeah, I don't understand Atlanta's offense at all.
It's going to get him fired. It's 100% going to get him fired.
Well, it should.
The only thing that's good about Arthur Smith is the stash.
I mean, yours looks better than his anyway.
That's right. But
yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, Brennan. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to take a running back that you honestly probably didn't need because you had Tyler Algier put up 1,000 yards before, and then not even use the guy. I mean, I get your quarterback situation is not the best, and I'm not trying to be a self-hating Panthers fan, but you were playing the Panthers in a monsoon, and you couldn't turn around and give the ball to the best player in your offense.
Right.
It's going to cost him his job.
I was going to say, like, that's even more reason to give him the ball, to have a better running game when your quarterback is not good. Your quarterback situation isn't good. Hand the ball off. So
I think as good as Tampa had played this week, Baker is playing so good. I think that game may have cost them any shot of getting into the playoffs with the NFC South title.
Yeah.
LFB, boys. LFB.
Let's bake.
Let's effing bake.
Well, congratulations to Jeff. Matt going to move on to the next round, and he is taking on he's taking on Zana next round. Zana had the first round bye, so that'll be an interesting matchup there. See how that goes. Moving on to the next game here, we got Sarah taking down Bowen. A little bit of a come from behind. She was not favored going into this game. She ended up winning 120 to 114. But again, we just touched on it. Baker
Yeah.
Literally, he was the first quarterback, I think they said, to ever go into Lambeau and put up a perfect passer rating.
Yeah, he lit it up.
Sure did. I watched the whole game. It was beautiful. Besides the fumble, whatever the hell happened there, he played pretty flawless football. And he wants to be in Tampa. I can't say I want him in Tampa fully because I don't know where he'll
I was
take
just
you.
about to ask that.
But yeah, I'll ride the bake train. We can keep baking this year.
Look, I think Tampa got him in there and gave him a full offseason to learn the playbook and let the man go out and do his thing. I mean, I'm not saying he probably should have been a first overall pick, but he was clearly a first rounder and Heisman Trophy winner for a reason. So, man's talented. Let him go do his thing. So, who knows? You might have a quarterback for Bridge for the next couple of years.
Let's just put it this way: if they don't bring Mike Evans back, we don't need Baker Mayfield back.
That's a good point.
Plain and simple.
The thing I like about Baker is he was a freaking
he
walk.
Rashad White. We get it, all right.
Yeah, that too.
I did not know that.
No, he was a walk on, and then he ended up winning Heisman and become number 1 overall pick. I mean, that guy's gonna work his ass off. So
Learn something new every day.
Speaking of people who walking on, how about James Cook just walking into the end zone at least twice, untouched, couldn't be stopped by the dominating Dallas Cowboys defense, just could not be stopped.
I did not see that coming at all.
Bowen, can't catch a break in the Princess Cup battles. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense is just slumping like no other at the wrong time for old Bowen. And, that's what's holding him back, I feel like, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's tough. Who knows what's wrong with the Eagles? Is it play calling? I got an Eagle fan I work with. He thinks it's Jalen Hurts actually missing wide open players. So who knows? But it definitely is taking an effect on Bowen. Bowen's going to hold on to that TR for one more week, and he's taking on Shaq this week. So Shaq's still a threat. I know he's a 12 seed, but he's got enough weapons to upset and send Bowen back to the Princess Cup final. So he's going to need, Bowen's going to need Jalen Hurts to get it together and find AJ Brown. So
where do you think Bowen's mindset is at this point? Just avoiding the Princess, or you think maybe he might want to win and get the 3-peat?
I don't think anybody wants to win. Let's just throw it out.
I mean, he's already done it twice.
Yeah, it's
history.
not intentional.
He's already made history by going back to back and being the only person to go or to have 2 Princess Cup titles. So history's already made. I don't know if he wants to make another historic run, but I definitely think he's tilting a little bit. I think he's definitely panicked. He had he had a good regular season. I mean, 6-8. We beat the hell out of each other in this league, and he had a very strong push to get into the playoffs at the last minute, and I think he ended up losing to Zano. He lost to me, and it ended up pushing him out. So I think he's definitely tilting a little bit.
Like you said, if he gets that 3-peat, he's just cursed at that point. His team is good enough that they could have very easily made the playoffs. I think if he didn't have that slow start, he very easily could have made it.
For sure. We'll see if the reign of Princess Bowen continues, or is he going to hand the tier off to someone else? So, moving on to the championship bracket, Drew, let's hop into your game here. You had a very thrilling victory, to say the least, over the defending L.E.D champion.
Thrilling is not even half the words I could describe. I thought I had zero chance going into Sunday night with I kind of thought my fantasy hopes were gone after benching Waddle and Miami's D, and then them throwing up 24 points each. But luckily Russ didn't claim likely off the waivers once Andrews got hurt, and he's been a pretty solid tight end since. And Tucker's Tucker. So, but me and Kellen were texting the whole time during that game, and me and him both said it's gonna be close, but I don't know who's gonna come out on top. And then right when that field goal kicked, I think I went up 0.3, and he was he was like, "Well, they're not throwing anymore, so congrats, buddy." And I was like, "Thanks, but I'm still not saying thanks yet until the game's over." So, but yeah,
Yeah. So what I think between your guys' game and then the next game between Brendan and Russ, it was 0.54 or 0.56 combined separation between all four teams, which was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
feels
I'm
dumb.
gonna be honest. I wasn't really paying attention to the Drew and Kellen's game like at all until Drew texted me Sunday night. We were texting each other, and then all of a sudden I looked at the score and I was like, "Oh my god, both of them are that close."
Yeah. So Drew, you alluded to it. Definitely left some points on the bench between Miami and Waddle. That, and you also overcame Austin Eckler. And I texted you before. Austin Eckler screwed you. This was his time to shine, and he just did not pull through for you.
Yeah, really excited about Saturday because I have to play him, so just fired up. Maybe getting
But Kyron's still dominating for you. Still dominating since he's come back.
Yep. So hopefully it's he keeps on chugging, and hopefully Stanley got fired, and they'll realize who's the best running back is in the backfield, and not keep freaking doing a rotation. So
Right.
we'll see.
I know why you did it. I know why you started Kyler over Tua. It's because we have been talking about the Jets' defense. Is that right?
Yes, this is exactly why. And then
I figured that's what it was.
And if I didn't start Kyler, if I would have went with Tua, and I think I would have lost technically. And so
Oh, for sure. You definitely would have lost.
It paid out. So sorry, Kellen, but
It's a good season by our defending champ. Not many defending champs get to make it back to the playoffs. I went from first place all the way to the Princess Cup final. So good on Kellen for getting back to the playoffs, and congratulations on a great season. So just finish strong so you can get up in the fifth place game and finish at the top half of the league. So moving on to the next one, we got Peep and Tomlinson's taking on the Huge Hefner with a squeaker, a 0.14% margin of victory for Brendan.
Yeah, to say I was sweating bullets is an understatement.
So there's a little gamesmanship on this game before. Do you remember what happened last Wednesday morning?
Yeah. Russ picked up Jordan Love before I could grab him, which I thought was a potentially matchup winning move. Luckily, Flacco played well enough to get me solid almost 17 points. But yeah, I thought Wednesday I was sweating a little bit, and then that Thursday night game I thought there was no shot after that Thursday night game. And Russ put up a hell of a fight, and picking up Jordan Love, that was a really good move.
Yeah, Drew mentioned it last episode. It was definitely smart, Russ, because Russ had the number one waiver priority, so it was pretty smart. It didn't end up paying off. Stephon Diggs has been such a letdown for Russ over the past couple weeks. I'm not sure what the deal is, but it is 4 out of the last. Well, he had a bye week in there, but 4 out of the last 5 games, he's not even scored 5 points. Not even that,
Yeah.
And then last week he didn't even score 7. And this is a man that he took in the first round.
Yeah. Well, I also think Brian Robinson, in a really funny way, helped me out by being out, because him being out made Russ put Gibson in his flex instead of Godwin or Edwards-Helaire or Aaron Jones, and that ended up being the difference for me.
Yeah, he definitely also left some points on the bench. Chris Godwin putting up 20.5, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire 18.1. I did not see Edwards-Helaire putting up those numbers.
No, but I mean, that's fantasy for you.
It sure is. Well, Russ is he's not happy about it. I know that from talking to him the last days, but he's handling it with very gracious. Him and Kellen both handling those very, very close losses very well. So
Yeah.
congratulations to Russ on a good season. Backed into the playoffs. Not how you want to end it, but It still made it a dance, and he's already put the silver lining on the season that he's not wearing a dress. So that in itself is a major victory. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I was texting with them, and I think this season just proved how much of a force Russ is in the league, because just like everybody else, but he dealt with a lot of injuries this year and still went on a run and made it in the playoffs. And this game could have gone his way 4 different ways. So I thought he showed why he's a 3-time champ, and why he's a force.
we'll go ahead and move on to the injury report. A lot of big names here. I think the biggest name here, and unfortunately, we're going to go to you, Drew. It looks like Jamar Chase. He has separated his shoulder and has already been ruled out for this week. Yeah, I mean, how you feeling, buddy?
Rapport, he's out. What's his,
I love that.
Zach Taylor said he's day to day, so either way, he'll probably won't play, but I'll have a hard time starting him if he does play.
Christian McCaffrey tweaked his knee, was able to finish the game. So, I mean, that's something to keep an eye on, but he should be fine, unfortunately for you, Brendan.
Yeah.
And then another thing that affects Matt is Trevor Lawrence is expected to miss at least 1 week. With him trying to get out of the Princess Tournament, he's going to have to go find another quarterback somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Have you heard anything on Jalen Waddle? It said he's got a chest injury, but he's projected to play this week. Have you heard anything on his status?
No, I have not heard anything. I mean, he finished the game. He got his chest injury like beginning of the first quarter, and then he came back and played the whole time. So I highly doubt he's probably just going to be one of those limited things going on, but you never know. I need him to play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fortunately, good for fantasy. That's all. That's pretty much all the big names. We did touch on Keaton Mitchell for you, or well, pre-show for you, Brendan. He's season ender. I mean, that's a big player for you, but I understand in the big scheme of things, no big Titanic names in fantasy out.
Yeah, it seems like there's a new one every week now.
Unfortunately,
ruptured ACL.
Is that what it is?
A very significant hyperextension knee injury that likely involves multiple ligament damage. It looked gross.
Oh yeah,
I remember watching. I was like, "Hey, he's done."
It was like Nick Chubb-esque. Like when I saw it, I was like, "Oh god, it's
it
terrible."
wasn't that bad, but it was close. Nick Chubb's was gruesome.
Well, let's move on to the second round coverage here. We're going to jump into the Princess Cup games first. We're going to do Steel City taking on Happy Little TDs. Drew, what do you got here?
I'm looking at Shaq's team right now, and he's got Swift on the bench over Singletary. So, interesting move. Maybe he's riding a hot hand with old Singletary because, as I think Cody alluded to in late week 2, he hates Jalen Hurts and the tush push. And so, stealing Swift's carries. But Shaq's overall team's it's one of those, he's either going to score a lot or he's going to score little. And so, for him to win, I think he needs to have all of his players play well to beat Bowen. Philly has the Giants this coming week, so Philly looks to get back on track with CeeDee Lamb. And Dallas offense is going to be pissed off, fuming, coming out there, firing out all cylinders. And then his bright spot pickup of the year is Trey McBride for Arizona.
Yeah.
That guy has been lights out. Kyler loved him. Dobbs loved him. Everybody. So it's looking good for Bowen. I like Bowen to win.
Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with you. I mean, I do like Shaq's team. He's got some people that could put up some points, but like you said, they're either going to score a lot or going to score a little. So he's going to need all his guys to really play well, and I think especially Mahomes to really play well, and he hasn't been doing his typical Mahomes things lately. So Yeah, I think Bowen's just got too many guys that are going to be able to put up a lot of points. So I got Bowen in this one.
I like Shaq's roster a lot, but where we mentioned that Shaq's main starters are going to be affected by other teams around him, or excuse me, other players around him. So, just for example, looking at his wide receivers, he's starting DeAndre Hopkins right now. We just said Will Levis is out. We're not sure if he's going to play this week, and even if he is, he's going to be banged up. And then Trevor Lawrence is also banged up as well. So that's going to affect his two starting wide receivers. If the backups come in, they would be smart to obviously throw it their way, but they're backups for a reason, so they don't play as good as they should. So I think that's probably going to be in the difference here, and is going to lean heavily towards Bowen because the Eagles are playing the Giants this week, which does not have a great defense. So I think just looking at, based on the roster and the talent and the injuries that affect those, I'm going to also take Bowen as well to get rid of that tiara and send Shaq to the Princess Cup Finals.
I don't know if Shaq's really updated his roster though. I mean, I know Swift's out, but I think he's having a hard time.
Yeah, I mean that could easily
Dak
change.
I think he's having a hard time picking between Dak and Mahomes. So, but I still like Bowen to win.
Yeah, I mean, even Christian Watson's even hurt too, right? He's got an injury. He sat out Sunday. So, anyway, yeah, I'm taking, based on the injuries to other players, I think that's going to affect Shaq, so I'm going to go with Bowen here. Moving on to the next Princess Cup game, we got the player haters taking on P&Your Cornflakes. Zeno getting back in action after getting a first-round bye, and it may have worked out in his favor a little bit because there is whispers that Jonathan Taylor could be making a comeback this week.
Well, there are whispers. That is for sure. But he wasn't really. I don't know. He kind of scares me, Jonathan Taylor. He hasn't been the 2021 Jonathan Taylor in a long time, and just the thumb injury, and I mean, hopefully for Zeno's sake, he does come back. But does he start him is the question because Mixon's been playing all well, and Kamara is just a PPR hoarder for a running back, so I don't know. And then the Njoku's been Flacco's favorite player right now, so he's got a lot of options. Zeno does.
Yeah, I like Zano's roster. I mean, Cup has been starting to go off. He's starting to be the Cup of old. Like you said, he's Kamara. He's going to be a beast. Mixon's playing well. Lamar is playing really well lately. I think it's just Zano's roster, I think, is just too overpowering.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sitting here looking at Zeno's roster, and I want to know how he got here. How did he even get to a first-round bye in the Princess Cup? I mean, even, we can say, like, oh, well, maybe some of these names are old or they used to be good in years past. This roster is fucking stacked. I mean, Lamar, Cooper Kupp's coming back doing things. DJ Moore, I mean, DJ Moore's got potential. DJ Moore put up a 45-point game this year. So, Drew mentioned Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, George Kittle. I mean, I just don't understand how he ended up in this position. And I'm sure Zeno is equally as frustrated, but I'm picking Zeno this week in an absolute blowout of Matt. I mean, these are, with the exception of Lamar having a pretty tough matchup against San Fran. I mean, these looks like big names and big stars that are going to go get their points anyway. So,
yeah,
I'm riding with Zeno.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, the Atlanta offense is just, you don't know what's going to happen. And London and Robinson are taking the butt end of the stick for it. So I'm taking Zeno in this one all the way.
Even looking at Matt's roster, I mean, we said Trevor Lawrence is in the concussion protocol. Chris Olave may or may not. Oh, actually, Yahoo has him as expected to play, so that's good news. That broke about a couple hours ago. But, I mean, yeah, going back to the Drake London and Bijan, I mean, just put the ball in the hands of your playmakers. I mean, this is simple. And they just absolutely are not doing it. So, and then Drew, you're going to hear me say it every week until it's no longer relevant for me. But I worry every single week about Devon Achane. Every single week.
Yeah, we just
This
need to
could
go
be
ahead
the
and stop.
week.
We just need to go ahead and stop bringing up HN because clearly they get in the red zone. It's no longer anybody else's backfield but Mostert. So I don't think you have much to worry about anymore. I think the knee injury put him in a slight step back where he's not fully 100% ready to roll. And I think, Mostert set the Miami single season touchdown record. So I think not too much to worry about.
I'm just saying it would really, really suck if that changed like in the last 2 weeks. I need it to definitely not change this week is all I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it every week until I'm proven right, and then I get to pout about it and say, I told you so. Let's move on to the championship bracket here. Brendan, we're gonna start with your game. The number 3 Peepin' Tomlinsons taking on the number 2 Dirty Skivvies. And currently Joe is favored right now, almost 109-94. Brendan, it took a little bit of a Sunday night miracle to get you here. How do you feel going into this week?
Well, my team, like I told you, is held together with Scotch tape right now. So I'm going to see if I can, patch something together here and hopefully squeak out another win and make it to the final. It's going to be really tough, really tough. I mean, McCaffrey and Debo are they're just a machine right now. And then Josh Allen's got a great matchup against my Chargers. So, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
I don't like your odds at all. Let's just throw it out there.
No, I don't either. But we'll see. That's why they got to play the games.
You got to play the game, obviously, but
on paper, it's not looking good. I kind of withdrew on this one. And listen, you're a smart guy. You know what we're saying. We talked about the Keenan Allen injury. If we don't have Keenan Allen, that's going to be a huge blow to your chances here. I mean, when you being a Chargers fan, you saw when he gets up 16 targets for 14 receptions, bro. That's putting up serious points. And my man could have stood at the line of scrimmage the whole game and put up 7 points just off of that. Right. So he is a huge part of your team. What stinks is that he's got a Saturday game as opposed to a Sunday game. I mean, just that extra day of rest could make a big difference. So
I was going to say, I'm hoping he's able to play, but he didn't practice today, so I don't know. It's not looking too good right now.
But as good as, or as concerning as the Keenan Allen injury is, Amon-Ra has been a beast, continues to be a beast, and if it's not Amon-Ra, it's Sam Laporta. So you could definitely, if Amon-Ra has a good performance against a 10th ranked, Minnesota gives up the 10th most points to the wide receiver position. If he puts up a stellar game against the Vikings, he could pick up some of the slack for Keenan Allen, or should you have to play a backup, he could pick up some of that slack.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my only hope is Baltimore's defense plays lights out. That's my only shot.
Well, I was getting ready to point to that. Besides Josh Allen, Joe's got some tough matchups for his players right now. So it might, obviously, fantasy, rankings don't really matter when it comes to 27th worst and stuff like that. But when you see a team mostly in the red, it most of the time bids pretty good dues for the other team. So he might not put up the huge numbers he put up this week. So if he knocks it down to 110s, you might have a chance because Goff had a career game last week, and 4 touchdowns went to both your boys, St. Brown and Laporta, and then Rachaad White, which Cody wants to point back to the A-chain, how he brings it up all the time. I've said since the beginning that Rachaad White's been your best pick all year long, and he's proven around towards the fantasy playoff time to make me look decent instead of picking Jeff or Princess.
Yeah, I picked him more so as depth. I needed to grab a running back a little bit later, and I knew he was going to be the guy, so I just grabbed him. But I did not. I'm going to be honest. I did not see this coming. What he's done this year.
So are you riding with Flacco?
I am most likely. Yeah.
He's
He
played good.
even
So
though he
I'm
had
on.
3 interceptions last week, one of them was definitely not his fault, but he still put up 370 plus yards and a couple touchdowns. So I'm alright with him. He's playing well. He's putting up a lot of yards and touchdowns. So I think he'll probably give me my best shot with the options that are available.
I've said for the past couple months, I don't care what my record is. The best team in the LED right now is the Dirty Skivvies, and that has been for months. They're just so complete from top to bottom, and even their bench is just solid. He continues to make good pickups with Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler put up he had 11 points the week before, put up 8 this week. So solid effort there. Jacoby Myers is contributing. Cortland Sutton has a little bit of revitalization. So I mean, that's just his bench player. So God forbid something happen to any of his starters. I mean, he's got someone that's just as capable to plug in, and arguably league MVP Christian McCaffrey, arguably fantasy MVP Christian McCaffrey, and then the late season resurgence of Debo. He did not start off super hot, but he's definitely turned it on the latter half. So, and then I just fully expect Josh Allen to put up 24 average every game. So I don't mean to paint such a bleak picture, but I'm just trying to be realistic for everyone on this podcast tonight. Boys, it don't matter who's getting next week. I think if we have to go through Joe, I don't think it's gonna end well for us.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously I'm hoping for the best, but it's going to be really tough. Really tough.
Was moving on to the last game. I did keep this one for last. I didn't want to. I'm glad Brendan's here so he could comment on it. If I'm like Drew, if Drew's like me, I don't really want to comment too much on it. This is the third time this year, and this is the hardest one. So I don't really have anything else to say besides that.
What are you guys 1-1?
No, 0-2.
0-2?
Yeah.
0-2. Remember, Tampa's Super Bowl run, Saints beat them twice in the regular season, and the playoffs came around. Remember that, Cody?
Yeah, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year.
But like Cody said about Josh Allen, if Tyreek plays, you fully expect him to put up 18.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just what he does.
Absolutely.
I mean, so other than that, other than that, Mostert's I think besides McCaffrey, he's been number 2 fantasy running back in the league. So, I mean, they got hard teams. They got Dallas this week, who's going to be lighting a fire up their ass after getting their ass handed to. So it's going to be interesting, but we also got to see Tyreek even plays, as well as Josh Jacobs. And then,
I think that's going to be the what it comes down to. If Tyreek doesn't play, I like your chances because a lot of those balls are going to go to Waddle at that point. And then if he doesn't play, that really hurts you, Cody. So I think it's going to come down to that.
I think Hill got held out because I think they knew it was the Jets. I don't really think they're too worried about it. I think they're kind of saving the ankle weight for this week. I fully expect him to play, if not be a full participant in like Thursday's practice. So I expect Cody's team to be fully healthy rolling into this, and should be a fun matchup.
Well, I certainly hope so. That's what I was planning for when me and you made the trade for Ayuk and the Jets defense, and I graded Mike Evans. These were the weeks that I was planning for. Ayuk between this week and next week. At the time, it was like San Francisco wide receivers had like the 4th or 5th easiest schedule. Now that's not to say Baltimore is a slouch at all. That's not what I'm saying, but it bodes well for this week and next week. So that's why I was making some of the moves that I did, picking up the Jets and from you. So, but I think both of you are absolutely right. It's going to depend on Tyreek Hill. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here, but if I'm trying to be realistic here, if I'm Miami, like 2,000 yards doesn't mean anything to the Dolphins. I mean, it'd be cool to have. It's a personal thing for Tyreek, but they need Tyreek healthy for the playoffs. and that's ultimately what they're playing for. So I'm encouraged by the fact that when he got that injury, he did come back and finish the game. Again, I just don't know why they held him out last week. I'm kind of glad they did, just to give him another week to heal up, but it does leave a little bit of doubt in my mind that he's going to play. And then I'm more concerned about Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs' injury looked a little more severe. It looked like a pretty bad hyperextended knee. They're listing it as a quad injury, so I'm not really sure what to make from that. But he's not practiced yet either, and I don't have a whole lot of depth. I really don't. And Drew has been hammering this all year long, and rightfully so. That if I get a major injury, I'm in trouble, and I'm really just hoping that this is not that time. So I mean, that's really all I have to say on that. That, and one last note, I need Justin Fields to be the quarterback that I drafted in like the 5th round, and not this sporadic, all over the place. Maybe I'll get you some points, maybe I won't. He's playing Arizona this week, so it's be a favorable matchup. So I need him to be the Justin Fields that I drafted him to be. And that's all I got on him.
Yeah, Arizona's got the worst run defense in the league, so he could pick up some points for you on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if it's on the ground. I'll take rushing touchdowns. I'll take touchdown passes to DJ Moore, just because that's my boy. But I just need touchdowns. I need touchdowns from Justin Fields because he has not delivered on the hype or the reason that I had drafted him as high as I did.
No, he sure hasn't. But I think Justin Fields needs to prove to the NFL community that he can throw the football. Okay, so let's just throw it. You don't need to run.
I don't care. Throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm all right with that. Like,
no. Just
or
throw
if he
it.
wants,
you don't gotta look where you're throwing. Just throw it.
But if he wants to do his best tush push impression, I'll take that too. So.
But and as Cody alluded to, 2 weeks ago, the guy that Kyler Murray has reached his weakest or the easiest fantasy football quarterback lineup coming now. So
yes.
I need him to be Kyler Murray because, I need him to run the ball. I feel like he's a little scared to run the ball though. Kind of freaks me out a little bit with his knee injury. We'll see.
50 yards ain't nothing to scoff at though. Put up 49 yards, so his run total is getting a little bit better each week. Well, Brendan, Drew and I aren't going to pick it, so you're going to have to pick it.
We putting a commission on the line for this game, Cody.
I don't know, man. The way that
do it,
it might be. We got some things to figure out in the league. We might have some things to figure out in the league. So who knows?
Do it.
No, we're not. I'm not giving it up willingly. Y'all got to vote. Y'all got to vote my ass out.
I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring for commish. See how I get 0 votes.
Vetoed. I think you like the least worked or least years that Dick's Sporting Goods worked. So no.
Like I said, I get 0 votes. I'll throw it in there. I'll get 0 votes, but
that's right. You'll be our independent vote.
Just a good third option, just in case.
Yeah. Just out there.
Yeah. Just hey, I'm here too, guys.
Let's see who you pick, Cody.
So this game.
Just go for it. Just full.
Yeah, don't rack your brain too hard.
No, I'm not.
You don't even have to pick anyone. It's fine. We'll just let it play out.
I would say if Tyreek is out, I like Drew's chances a lot. It really all depends on Tyreek.
Last time I bet against Cody in week 14, when he had his whole team on a bye week, pretty much, he still put up 150. So, yeah.
Well, and you're 0-2 against him. It's hard to be the team 3 times in one season. So I'm gonna go Drew.
Well,
all right,
it was fun, boys. It was a good ride.
Well, cool. Well, that's going to do it this week for the L.E.D podcast. Good luck to you, gentlemen.
Good luck to you guys, too.
Good luck to Joe. I knew Joe would not.
No.
Joe would not want to come on. I didn't even bother to ask him. So he avoids the camera like the plague every time I see him anyway. So
Joe, let's go way below those projections, bud.
good luck, boys. Good luck to everybody in the Princess Cup. And if you're traveling for Christmas, be safe. Merry Christmas. Love y'all. And we'll see you next week.
Happy holidays.